Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and to another vlog. This is a vlog that I have been meaning to film for quite a little while now. However, oh, cheers Banks. However, due to having been not very well, have I mentioned that much recently, I haven't had the energy or enthusiasm to do it the justice that I would like to do, because what I want to do and what I've been meaning to do for the last goodness knows how long, well, since last year, since the season ended basically, is do an event season summary of 2021. Now, I know by now most of you are probably missing the eventing vlogs. I'm definitely missing the cross-country buzz. And now that I'm back in full health and back to getting out, training and prepping for our eventing season 2022, I thought now would be the perfect time to do it. So, I've literally just scanned through my results on my phone and figured that actually I only did 5 one-day events last year. Only 4 BEs and 1 riding club one. So this isn't going to be a particularly long vlog. There isn't going to be that much content to include in it. However, for my own benefit and because I know that quite a few, hopefully, of you guys will enjoy this, I thought I would go through one by one each one-day event that we did, what we did good at, what we could have improved on, and basically just how our season went, a bit of an overview, which in turn will hopefully help me plan my 2022 season as well. Banks is on a day off today. It's actually Saturday. I rode him yesterday. I'll take him out again tomorrow. And I'm hoping that I will actually be able to get a Tuesday upload for the first time this year. So thumbs up and high five to you guys if you are watching this on Tuesday evening. Thank you very much for your patience and apologies that the last few vlogs have been all out of sync. Yeah, I'm hoping to get back into the swing of things. However, there might be a little flaw in the plan to that next week. We will see. We will see how this week goes. But do have your notifications on if they're not on already, because then you will be alerted if I do still spontaneously upload on a Friday, which is what I've been doing for the last few weeks, I think. Yeah, it has been a Friday, which some of you like. So do let me know in the comments below if Friday maybe does suit you better, or if you prefer me sticking to my Tina Tuesdays. And let's get on with this video. I know off the top of my head where and when our first event was. It was at Moreton back in May. I don't know the exact date, or was it April? Might have been April actually. Had the phone in front of me a minute ago, didn't I? It was May. It was May the 15th. And what sticks out so prominently about that event was our shocking dressage. Our 40.5. We went back to our 2015/2016 days. I literally thought he was going to explode. Let's get some of the footage in here, do a little bit of voiceover, and we'll rendezvous shortly when we move on to what was after Moreton. Pontispool, I think it would have been. Anyway, let's go on to Moreton, then we'll do Pontispool, then we'll do Launceston, which didn't happen, then we'll do Pontispool, then we'll do Bicton, which actually is the most recent, and the majority of you probably all know all about that one, but I just thought it would be good to do it, good to look back on, and good to help me plan the upcoming season of 2022. So here we have it. Now, I won't include the whole test, but I think you can see from his bobby head just how much he's trying to fight me, and just how quickly those front legs are moving, because he's just like, come on, let's crack on. I don't want to be doing dressage. I want to skip straight to the jumping phases, mum. Ooh, almost had a momentary stride of relaxation then, but only an almost. Again, fighting me all the way around that turn there to come back down onto the centre line. Oh, I love how I can laugh about it now. Actually, I was laughing about it at the time. I was. It was frustrating, but it was funny, and I was just glad to have survived it, because we all know, or you will know if you've been here a while. Oh, look, we broke into canter there on the trot on the 15-metre circle. Oh, and the tail here. It was like a helicopter wanting to take off. Swish, swish. Yes, you will all know that we've left the arena more than once, probably more than twice, actually, doing dressage, and I have actually been eliminated in the dressage phase twice from falling off. So, yeah. In fact, I don't like to tempt fate, but I don't know that I've actually fallen off at a one-day event not in the dressage phase? Oh dear, sorry. I'm pausing then because I was thinking. I don't think I've even fallen off in the cross country. Oh, fallen off twice in dressage, but hey ho. Anyway, yeah, look at this. This was the right canter, but the wrong leg twice. Eventually got it, but he's just throwing his head about going, do not tell me what to do, Mum. I want to go at my speed, not your speed. Please let go of me. And yeah, that was a wrap. Let's move swiftly on to the jumping. As you can see, the weather was atrocious. It was in the dressage too, but it didn't quite show. A nice spook at this fence as we went in, so I was like, no, you will look at it a minute. Oh, no, I won't, Mum. Don't want to look at that. That's scary. Got to jump it in a minute, boyo. Oh, yep, the weather was hideous. I think I was thinking, why am I doing this? Why am I here? Whose idea was eventing? I know I completely messed up this next fence. Just didn't have any rhythm, was disunited, tried to correct it, didn't correct it. Scat the pole flying. After that, I think I stopped fighting with him and just sort of let him go at his own speed. Hence he's like, yeehaw, this is more fun. Come on, Mum, let's go. Basically, he was just keen to get out on that cross-country course, which we will get to in a minute. Woo! He sorted his own little leggies out there, and then round for a nice jump over the final fence. On to cross-country. He was his keen bean self out the start box and basically flew all the way round and made it feel absolutely effortless. I stupidly wore a coat because I'd got so cold and wet in the other two phases. I was like, I'm not getting wet again, and it was horrible when I went over towards the warm-up and look, then the sun came out and oh my goodness, it was the hottest cross-country round I've ever ridden. I was absolutely sweltering, so I will never make that mistake again. I would rather always be colder than hotter. It was, yeah, absolutely sweltering. And then you can tell here that I'm looking at my watch on the way back down the hill, trying to figure out whether I'm too fast, too slow, or in between. Figured I was probably only just about to make it in time, so then pushed on for the final fence. Oh. But yeah, we came clear within the time, so clear round, 4 faults, show jumping, and a 40.5 dressage, I think left us in 15th place. So overall, when I look back at it now, it wasn't as disastrous. Sorry, I'm sat here editing it. It wasn't as disastrous as the score reflected, maybe. The dressage, actually, we held it together the best we could. It could have been a whole lot worse. The show jumping, again, ring nerves. I hadn't really done any practice last winter and through into the beginning of the season. I hadn't taken him to a single pony party, bless his heart, prior to getting out eventing. So lesson learned for this year, get some exuberance out of him prior to going to an event, especially a stay away, because at the time him and Lola were like, I love you, I miss you, constantly calling each other, winding each other up, and both just so happy to be out at a party. However, that massively impacted our dressage score, but I cannot complain because the feeling he gave me cross country, despite me being very, very hot and never wearing a coat cross country again, he made it feel effortless, and he gave me the buzz that on the way home, or talked about it with them on the way home, but when I got home, I put on my rave pants and pants and entered our first 100. Now, it wasn't a BE, it was riding club, but you have to get your entries in quite early. So we already had Pontispool planned, BE 90 for 2 weeks later. However, another 2 weeks after that is the riding clubs, or was the riding club qualifiers. And I put my brave pants on and entered the 100, having only been out once that season. So yeah, it shows that the jumping felt good and that it was only the dressage that we really needed a lot of work on. So let's head on now over to Pontispool. I, touch wood, have always had good runs at Pontispool. I've never had a bad run there. It's like a lucky charm for us. Similar to Launceston, I would say similar, but I have had a couple of bad runs at Launceston, as you'll see a bit further into this video. But yeah, let's head to Pontispool and we'll do a quick debrief of that. It's interesting to see how, when I've gone back and got the footage, how I've spoke about it then on the vlog as opposed to how I feel about it now, so many months later. It's really interesting for me to look back on and just to learn and improve from that and to find more positives than negatives that I did at the time. However, Pontispool's probably not a good example of that because I do know that we had a fantastic day. It was absolutely boiling. It was such a contrast in weather compared to Moreton. But I'll hand you over to some of that footage and a little bit of voiceover now. So as you can see, before I even started, I had a very relaxed, stretchy pony. This is what the difference the weather makes to him. In the sun and in the heat, he's so much calmer than in cold, windy, rainy, wet weather. And I do like to always try my very best to have a canter before going in the arena now. Obviously, I didn't at Moreton because I could have got deposited before even starting the test. But yeah, I try my best if he's feeling like he's going to behave, to have a little canter and just to check that we've got brakes. Going around the outside before we start, and then generally it makes for a lovely, nice centerline trot as well. It's lovely at Pontispool here because look, they've got the centerline mown for us, so it looks lovely and inviting and helps you keep a nice straight line. I think that was quite straight. I won't do a voiceover of the whole test because obviously you've already had that in one vlog, guys. But yeah, I was really pleased with this test. I was at the time, and again, I still am now. There was nothing not to like, apart from how much work it was for me, but I don't mind that. In contrast to Moreton, it was actually, you can see here, quite nice having to constantly use my legs and say, keep going, Banks, come on, keep going. Slightest bit of resistance in the hand, but that's only being uber analytical. I think rhythm wise he looks fab, and yeah, I think we went on to have lovely marks. I believe our test ended on a 30 here that day, so a massive improvement from 40.5.
That you're up to no good. Everyone has been telling me that you got me hooked. You're playing it big time. You're feeding me lies. Everyone has been bugging me to sever the ties. But I would never, ever would have believed them. No reason. Sometimes the truth is hard to see. But now the never seem to be over. I saw her, so I'm happy I got freed. Lucky me. Lucky me. I won, got it done. Lucky me. Lucky. I won't let the door hit when I leave. Should've known by your rap sheet that you weren't nice, but now I am telling you I'm going to smile. But I would never, ever would have believed them. No reason. Sometimes the truth is hard to see. But now the never seem to be over. I saw her, so I'm happy I got freed. Lucky me.
It's really interesting to look back and watch this show jumping because I can see massively how much our show jumping improved throughout the winter. As you can see, before that double we chipped in a stride. Here, I don't know what happened, how we caught that pole, to be fair. I don't think we really did much wrong. But although I'm trying to ride forwards, you can still see that I'm holding him back with my hands, not using my seat enough, and yeah, just basically not riding him as well as I feel I do now. So it's really good to look back and have all this footage to reflect on and to use for my own self-improvement. So we had full faults there, cross country, but like show jumping, but like I say, a 30 dressage, and then typical Banksy, he went out and absolutely ate up the cross country. Because I'm fortunate enough to have this fantastic footage from Equireal. I am going to leave it in here again because I like being able to look back and see learning curve. I can look at my Pontispool round from May and my Pontispool round from September and compare the two. I would think that I probably do get a lot closer to the fences and chip in a little bit more in this round than I do towards the end of the year. But yeah, I'll leave it with you because there's not much to say over this. He's just absolutely awesome and absolutely loves his cross country. As do I, to be fair.
On a run from my given disaster, speed away from the holy mind, pride. That's where I never thought it would matter. If I'm gone by now, all my weakness keep on linger on repeat like it will be my favorite song. Oh, I know I should be moving on, but you got me good, you got me good. I keep on driving till it bends, still it feels like I pretend. Keep on driving and driving along the road to end. Lost my head over my back between the jars and bottle jack. Just me and all the red lights. Keep on driving and driving. In the heat from a hot California, I forgot how you look like in rain. That's why I never thought it would matter. If I'm gone by now, all my weakness keep on linger on repeat like it will be my favorite song. Oh, I know I should be moving on, but you got me good, you got me good. I keep on driving till it bends, still it feels like I pretend. Keep on driving and driving along the road to end.
Oh, that just makes me grin. I love having that footage to look back on. The cross-country footage. It almost gives you that buzz again. Almost, not quite. But yeah, I love also a bit of footage that Sam captured from that event of the combination that I was most nervous about, which was the ditch to the corner, which was the third to last fence. So I'm going to pop that bit in here before we move swiftly on to our next event, which was the Riding Club 100 at Launceston, which sadly did not go to plan. And it wasn't because it was 100, it was because, well, you'll find out. Let's go through and see how it went. 2 out of 3 phases went very, very well, and we were actually in the lead. Up until the cross country. Anyway, I'm sure lots of you will probably remember this, but we'll keep it brief. For some reason, I don't really remember riding this test. I don't know if it's just because the day went downhill, but it's been quite nice to watch it back because it was a lovely one. Launceston is where we actually hold our PB of 22.8, so maybe that just gives me good vibes. But as you can see, it's a lovely, perfectly flat. It's actually on a rugby pitch. So we did some a lovely centre line, some lovely left trot. Not the world's best halt, but it was still obedient, just wasn't quite square. Then we do a lovely obedient walk and stretch. Very good boy Banksy. Again, look, no jacket. A lovely hot day, and he's very well behaved. In fact, oh, and look at that lovely counter transition. In fact, it was too hot. I will actually never event him in that heat again because he really is a hot horse, and he's an Irish bog pony. He likes cold, muddy, wet weather, but does actually struggle in the heat. And as he's getting a bit older now, I've learnt from that day, hard ground and hot weather are not his things. They might mean we get a nice relaxed dressage test. That centre line at the end there is very lovely too, as is the halt, I believe. But knowing what I know today, how he then went on and gave me this epic clear round. Sorry, the dressage was 26.7, so a very good score, which I think left us in second place, actually. I thought it was the lead, but it was in second place prior to show jumping. Then he went on to give me, as you can see, he was so keen still, even though it was warm. His ears were pricked, he was pulling me towards the fences, and he went on and gave me an absolutely lovely clear. Show jumping, it was just the cross country that day that sadly wasn't for us, but let's enjoy the show jumping for a minute. Let's enjoy being in the lead for all of half an hour, however long it was at the time. He's such a good boy. He leapt this triple bar that's coming up. And then the final fence of our first 100 of the season was planks, and I absolutely hate planks. But I ensured I walked it. Ensured? Yeah, I made sure I walked it. As you can see, he was pulling me into that then. And I walked 7 strides. And I made sure I rode 7 strides. Yay, to clear. Now, sadly, this is the only bit of footage I have of the cross country. But even going out there, you can see, look, his ears are back. And I was kicking. You can see my legs kicking. And it resulted in this.
Thumbs up my cross country round.
Not a fall. But the air jacket went bang because I got off mid-course after having to retire at the Trakehner after 2 stops. Which is not like him at all. If I look back now, and again I said it at the time, I was having to ask very nicely over every single jump. He was not pulling my arms off. He was very sticky. He was getting in deep to everything. And turns out he had bruised soles. Sadly, I did not have pads in at the time. He does normally have pads every year. And if I look at the pictures now, I just think, oh, look at his ears. That's not Banksy at all. I actually bought the photos. I don't know why, because it's not fond memories. But I think I just felt I kind of needed them because I needed an explanation. It was so weird, him not pulling my arms off cross country. We have competed in hot weather and we have competed on harder ground, admittedly always with pads in before. When I say pads, for any of you that are following or watching that don't know, it's like they put like a gel protective or plastic or leather, or it can be all different material between the shoe and the hoof, and then they inject underneath with either like a gel, or you can some farriers, and that's what my farrier actually did, is put in like a dentist mould impression, so it's like squidgy and shock absorbing, and you put that between the hoof and the cover. I'm not explaining this very well. I should have just put a picture in. I don't think I've got a picture though. Basically it just is shock absorbing and protects the sole and stops any bruising, which they can get when doing hard work on firmer ground. We hadn't had a lot of rain at all. We didn't have hardly any rain for a good couple of months in the summer, but lesson well and truly learnt. I just will not be competing him if the ground is hard this year or any years in the future. It is part of the reason why I've registered BS. Obviously I do still want to event this year, but if we do have a glorious sunshiny summer, which will in turn mean rock hard ground and little rain, then I will not be doing much in the summer months, so we'll stick to primarily show jumping. May even venture out and do a bit of dressage on its own too, but hey, let's cross that bridge when we get to it. Hopefully it'll just rain all year. I'll wish for rain and then we'll be able to continue to event. But Banks had 4 to 6 weeks off, literally just light hacking, but I didn't want to risk jumping him again and didn't jump him again, gosh, until at least July. Oh no, when was this? This was June. No, it was about 6 weeks. And I actually did not think that we would event again that season. However, in August we did have quite a bit of rain, which meant that in September I did manage to get back out to Pontispool again. So we did drop back down to 90 because I was unsure whether he would want to jump again, and I didn't want to take him straight back out at 100 again and be disheartened if we had stops on the cross country, not knowing whether it was my nerves or whether it was him not wanting to do it. So we stuck with 90, and I'm pleased to report had probably one of the best rounds we've ever had. Had a very good dressage again too, and our first clear of the season show jump. Oh no, not first clear, because we had to clear at 100. Our first BE clear of the season. So let's have a little overview of Pontispool before heading on to Bicton 3-day. Okay, so I feel like we've got a fair bit of Tina doing dressage in this video, so I will try and keep this short and sweet. I also need to check what my score was, because I can't remember. I do know we got placed. And I think his trot work is looking lovely. Floaty toes. Looks much more supple, I think, compared to the beginning of the season. I don't think the score actually reflects that, but it doesn't matter. To me, I can see that it's a lot more relaxed and obedient. No flicky bobby head. What score did we get for this? I think it was a low 30. 32.3. Yes, 32.3. I think I was hoping for a sub 30 from this test. It didn't happen, but still was delighted, especially when I went and checked the scores, because in comparison to everybody else, a 32.3 did leave us in the top 10 prior to show jumping. Show jumping, he was absolutely flying, so much more forward and competent and confident from both of us. Yeah, literally, I think here he takes a stride out, or goes on a long one for him, yeah. Clear round to then head cross country, which I remember thinking, or being really worried that he might not be up for it because of the foot issue. But as you can see, he was a proper keen bean in the start box, nearly had me off, and literally just went and tore the track up. Is that the right terminology? I don't know, but yeah, took on every fence with the most keen bean ears, pulling my arms off. I had to slow down. I had to keep saying, wait, Banks, because we're massively up on time. Yeah, and he just felt incredible. I remember just grinning and, apart from fighting him to slow down, just really enjoying it, because it just felt so good that he wanted to be back out there. I am an over-worrier, overthinker, over-analytical person, and I just, when he had bad feet, I was just like, do you think this is the end of our eventing days? Does he not want to do it anymore? He is 15 this year. Has he got joints that are hurting? Is it just his feet? You know when you ask yourself every single question under the sun? But no, he said, not at all, Mum. I absolutely blimmin' love my job. Let me get on with it.
Yeah, his baby said that they don't got a future like that. It burns. So give him something worse to kill his head with, make him forget somehow. Might be that another day she would have wished he stayed, but they're done. Sorry's won't be enough this time. Yeah, he's calling all his friends to get some action and distract him right now. He's fine, got Lucy on the line, let's get this started. Where's the party tonight? I feel good, nothing weighs me down. I can't believe my luck right now. Red eyes while he said, don't you wanna have fun? Fool around with someone. Don't you wanna have fun? Never mind my dumb heart.
So we ended that round clear within the time, and just about within the time, by the time I slowed him down a bit, on a 32.3 double clear within the time to come 4th. So very chuffed with how that went, considering how it could have gone, with how much I've been worrying about it, and put us in good stead for getting out to the Bicton 3-day, which, yeah, I was apprehensive about entering. It was a lot of money to enter, and also, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I was apprehensive. I wanted to do it, but also I was a bit like, do we leave it on a good note? We've had a run. It's gone well. Do we just leave it till next year again now? But I made the decision to go, and I'm very, very glad I did, because it was an awesome, fun weekend. I will admit now, I mean, it's the most recent event vlog that I uploaded, so lots of you may have or do remember watching it, but I was a little bit disappointed with my dressage score. I was pleased with how the test went, but I've got to remember it was marked by 2 judges and marked at championship level. So in comparison to the other riders, where we lay on the leaderboard, I was pleased with, and where we finished I was definitely pleased with, but the actual score itself I was a bit like, ooh, especially when it felt better than the score reflected. However, it's still not a bad score, and looking back on it now, I should not have been disappointed at the time. And when I say disappointed, I wasn't massively disappointed. I was just a little, I kind of expected to just be a couple of marks less, maybe. But how the rest of the weekend went was absolutely incredible. I will just include some snippets to music because, as I say, it's the most recent one that I have voiceovered, and I'll also put a link in the description. I'm trying to talk too fast. In the description box below, so that you can go and watch the whole thing if you like, because it is an absolute fab vlog, even if I do say so myself. And then I will come back to you and conclude this vlog and tell you a little bit about what we're aiming for when the season begins this year. I don't actually have the test saved because it was filmed on my camera, not my phone. So rather than go and screen record it, enjoy this fabulous footage from Nick at Events Through a Lens. Some slow-mo footage. He didn't get the whole test because he did some in portrait mode as well for me so that I could make reels out of it. But this is what we have in landscape, and then we'll move on to my cross-country and my show jumping.
We should stay together, so let's stay young and in love. We should focus on us forever. Yeah, baby, if you are feeling like I do, we could run away across the ocean. Baby, what you say? We can leave today. Anywhere we'll go, we'll be alright. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's
top at 16 as they jump over that and confidently push on to the nap brush finale to complete.
So if you're new here or you did miss the Bicton 3-day event vlog, I'll just explain. You might be a bit confused because it ran in 3-day format, which means show jumping is on the final day. So you've got to check that they've still got enough energy and enough enthusiasm, as has the rider, to complete the round on the final day too. So it is like the ultimate challenge for them doing it that way round. And Banks was well and truly still up for it, bless his heart. He was incredible. I think I was a lot more tired than he was by the final day. Yeah, I was nervous of this Wilbury pony jump because he spooked at it in warm-up on the first day. Hence, I probably rode it awfully, but he still got over it lovely. Thankfully, he was an absolute superstar that whole weekend, to be fair to him. Aww. This makes me look forward to the season starting again. Oh, I was going to say clever boy, but there's one more jump left. Oh, chipped in. So we finished that event on 36.1, a 34.5 dressage, clear cross country, but 1.6 time penalties for being too slow. Of all the things, we're generally always too fast. But I spent ages trotting down the steps. But I don't regret it, it's absolutely fine. It meant we were safe and sound. I don't like cantering downhill, I really don't. That's one thing I'm going to work on this year, my confidence in cantering downhill. Right, that's a goal. Please hold me accountable for that. Because we then went on to have a clear round, which meant we finished in 25th position. I had to check that on my phone. But if we didn't have the... It was so close, literally. As I said about the dressage scores earlier, like in comparison to the other riders, it was so close. If I hadn't had the 1.6, and I hate it when people say if I didn't have a pole, but if I hadn't had the time penalties, which are very unusual for us, I normally get them for being too fast, not too slow, we'd have been 16th. So like 9 whole places just for 1.6 time penalties. It's mad, but hey, we came 25th out of 100 people, so I was absolutely chuffed. We ended the season on a double clear and a respectable dressage score, and just smiley, happy, safe and sound, which is the most important thing. And I got to do 2 more events than I thought I would after him being sore and out of action during the summer months, so absolutely delighted. I really actually enjoyed editing this vlog and looking back and seeing the improvement through the events, and I'm hoping that when we kickstart our 2022 season we will do it with the confidence that we finished our 2021 season on. I have been keeping up the winter training, hopefully you guys have seen that. I'm trying my best to vlog as much of it as possible, A, to hold myself accountable, and B, just so that I've got it to watch back, because it's like Cameron's lesson, to go and watch that back. It's such a huge training tool that I've probably watched that at least 4 times already myself. That would include the editing of it too. I'm going to love you and leave you now. I've literally just looked at what my first event could be this year. And being in Cornwall, we don't normally have many options, but in April we actually have 3 relatively close to us that are doable. We've got well, I say close, Bovington's still 3.5 hour drive, Bicton's still 2.5 hour drive, but we've got Bovington, Bicton and Port Elliot all within 3 weeks of each other in April. So there's definitely going to be one that I can get booked onto when the entries open up. It will just be a case of deciding which one, maybe 2, depending on his fitness, that we will do, and depending on what the ground is like. I hope in April it will be muddy and boggy and just how we like it. But yeah, it will just be a case of plotting and planning and deciding which one to do. Port Elliot is the closest one to us. However, it's the furthest away on the calendar. It's the 30th of April, whereas Bovington and Bicton are sooner than that. So it's just deciding. It will depend how our training goes over the next few weeks, and obviously the entries won't open till I would have thought early March anyway. So yeah, plenty of time to decide. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Thanks as always for your support in watching the videos and in all the lovely kind comments and everything that you give on my channel. It is very much appreciated and does encourage me to keep making these vlogs. Do give it a like, comment and subscribe if you don't already, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye bye.